me and you, we need to talk. First thing first, aesthetic is not a requirement to be a content creator in the beauty and lifestyle niche. I'm gonna say it one more time for the people in the back. Aesthetic is a choice. It is not a requirement, y'all. It's not a requirement to do beauty and lifestyle. Please get that out of your head right now, because that is a misconception. You could absolutely 100% woo your viewer into falling in love with your personality, and you can be just as big as some of your favorite YouTubers right now without aesthetic. I had the misconception, y'all, when I came into the beauty and lifestyle industry, thinking that all I had to do was have great aesthetic and then I would gain all of these followers and viewers and all of that. And I'm gonna tell you, that is a lie. If that were the case, my Instagram would have way more than 300 followers. Second, if you choose a certain type of aesthetic and you want to change it, you have full range to do that. Don't box yourself in as a content creator thinking that if you had this certain kind of aesthetic that you did once before, that if you change it, that people are not going to love your content just as much. Again, I'm gonna reiterate, if anything at all, focus more on your personality being authentic and real, because again, that's what people are gonna fall in love with. There are YouTubers right now that I watch, they still give aesthetic and stuff like that, but I mainly started watching that person for their personality. That's what draws me in, is watching somebody's personality and relating to them. So if I know that that's how I view different YouTubers that I'm coming across, or different people on Instagram that I'm coming across, then that is how somebody is going to see me. So again, the best thing that you can do is show up and be authentic. However, the topic of today's conversation is talking about the aesthetic. So I just have like a few quick little editing style tips that you can do today, especially if you're a beginner, to kind of understand or to help you create your aesthetic. Let's backtrack for just a moment. We have to understand what the actual definition of aesthetic is. And once we define it, then we can again make it personal and make it fit our own editing styles. So good old Dr. Google tells us that aesthetic means to be concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty. Or the other definition says a set of principles underlying and guiding the work of a particular artist or artistic movement. Now that we actually know what aesthetic is, we can now understand that it's a very individualized concept. Aesthetic is not one thing across the board. So like I said, I have 5 quick little tips that I just want to run over real quick, give you guys a couple of examples of how I edit my own personal work. That way you can begin to, you know, craft your own aesthetic. The number one editing tip that you could take right now, especially if you're a beginner and you don't know where to start, you don't know what the hell a aesthetic is or how to create one, is taking the multi-angle approach to your content. So this is going to be a really, really good option, especially if you are someone who doesn't do a lot of on-camera speaking, because let's just be honest, everybody ain't got the gift of gab, baby. Everybody ain't got the gift of gab. If you're somebody who is not comfortable yet talking on camera, talking on, I can't even talk on my own camera today, apparently. If you are someone who is not all the way comfortable talking on camera and you haven't really found that comfortableness, is that a word? Because it definitely don't sound right. That comfortability. There we go. Comfortability. If you don't have that yet on your on-camera presence, maybe you shoot a lot of your content as non-speaking, and that's perfectly fine. So something that you can do to really pull in your viewer and really get them captivated into watching your content is taking the multi-angle approach. You can do some of the most mundane activities and just do it in different angles, and it can look like a whole production, basically. I had to do my makeup for today's video because y'all know I'm gonna get on camera and I'm gonna be cute. I shot this as a reel/TikTok, so I could just, you know, put some, you know, throw a little get ready with me type video together and post it. So you see, I start off, I'm up close, but then the very next clip, I'm far back. And then I've got certain little details of the makeup products that I was using. I put some of those close up in the camera, you pull them back. So as you can see, there's a lot going on visually. You have all of these different camera angles. So one thing that I want to point out is I forgot what the statistic is, but basically our brains, the human brain, processes images much faster than it processes words. So if you are trying to really grow your audience, this is an easy way to do it and an easy way to add an aesthetic on there, because you have those multi-angled shots. You're giving detail to the overall product or the overall content piece itself, not product. I don't know why product just popped in my head. But number two, easy type editing that you can do is placement. So we've all seen the aesthetic pictures where you have like the perfume bottle, and then you have like, you know, some makeup products that are maybe the same color. Some people, you know, do it based on color. Some people do it based on like skincare products, makeup products. There are so many different combinations that you can do. Like you'll see people have a book open with a hair clip and some lip balm and a necklace. Like, and you'd be like, how does this even fit together? But it's all in how the products are placed, and it visually just tells a story by itself. So yeah, you might have several different pieces that might not necessarily go together, but if they're placed a certain way, it's almost like it's telling a story on its own. This is one thing that I love about placement, because I could tell the story by simply just putting certain products together. Or like, I love how they have the aesthetic type pictures where you're in the bed and you might have your coffee, or you might have like one leg propped up. It's a lot of different stuff that you can do with placement of photos, or even placement on videos. Product placement, if you're not familiar with it, just look up examples on Pinterest. Baby, I got a whole Pinterest board of aesthetic setup ideas, and I don't look at them to replicate them. I look at them to give me inspiration. Maybe I have some of the same products at home and I've just been trying to figure out how I want to place them. So it gives me inspiration to be like, okay, this is an idea, but how can I turn it and spin it and make it my own? Tip number three is lighting. And what I want to say about lighting off the flip is lighting takes practice. Lighting is something that you are definitely going to have to work on over time. I am still working on my lighting techniques, and I've been doing content creation for years, way more years than what I've actually been active on social media pages. One thing I love about lighting is it gives that mood, right? So I look at my content from a different perspective. I love cinematography. So anytime I look at my content, I'm looking at it from like almost a film perspective. I want you to sometimes feel like you're watching a movie when you're watching my content. I don't want you to just feel like you're just watching me in my everyday to day. I like to produce content that actually looks or feels as if you're watching a movie. So here's a really great example what I did with my PMS trigger migraine video, which if you didn't catch that, I'll make sure that I link that above. But anyway, at the beginning, opening of this video, I didn't want you to just watch me like starting to do my skincare or watch me get out the bed. I wanted you to feel what I was feeling that day. I wanted you to be a part of the experience of my mood that day, right? So if I'm trying to make my viewer feel sadness or feel the pain that I was experiencing that day, do you think I'm gonna put a bright sunny light in the background? Do that make sense? Okay, so I chose to give a cooler tone or cooler lighting effect on that video, because cooler tones or blue tones, gray tones, that is associated with like a deeper, sadder feeling. It's going to evoke certain emotions within you that would trigger you to feel sadness or to feel the pain that I was feeling that day. And then you can, you know, sprinkle a little grain on top of that, you know, layer some grain on top, which gives like that film grain appearance. But this is why I say lighting takes time. You have to really understand the different aspects of lighting. I'm not just talking about turn on your ring light and, you know, turn it around and you're done. Like, no, I want you to think about how you can drastically add the effects or the moods onto your videos or reels or TikToks that you're doing, so that you can really begin to evoke the emotions out of your viewers. And again, this helps them create a connection with you. You'll begin to like that relatability factor that I talked about. Like they'll begin to relate to you because they feel what you feel. Number 4 is the vibe. Okay, we are creating a vibe with the aesthetic type editing and photos and color and all of that. So when I'm talking about a vibe, I'm talking about, are you like the romantic type? So you've got that soft kind of filter on your videos and pictures. Maybe you're the dreamy type. Maybe you're the dark and the deep, mysterious, sexy type. It just depends on what you're trying to convey to your audience. But I want you to, again, and I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, you can change your aesthetic at any time. Don't be afraid to change it just because you think that you might lose followers or lose interest. Again, you want to have that personality showing through and shining through more than what your aesthetic edits are. On my YouTube, y'all probably see like it's a little more, it's like a tad bit more colorful. I do try to still stay like in neutral tones and stuff like that, but it's a little more light and airy. On my Instagram, it's a deeper, darker aesthetic, and I'll probably end up changing it at some point, but I just like the dark, deep look of the profile grid on Instagram with that darker aesthetic. So again, just figure out what kind of vibe you have. Whatever the case, just make sure it is a true reflection of you. My fifth and final tip, as far as just a quick little editing thing that you can do now, even if you're a beginner and you don't have to be perfect at it, is the no eye contact detail. So we've all seen those Instagram pictures, and I probably got a few. If I do, I'll post them on screen. We all we've all seen those pictures where like you might have somebody's, you know, whole body in the picture, but they might be turned away, or it might be like pointed downward to where you can only see their body, or maybe you get the detail of like maybe just their hands and their jewelry. What I love about no eye contact detail type photos or reels and stuff like that is it just brings more detail into your work. To me, I feel like I appreciate seeing detail more than just seeing somebody's face. Like, there are a lot of beautiful people in the world, okay? But do I want to constantly just see somebody's face and their eyes all the time? No, I would love to see details of the pictures, details of their jewelry, their nails. Like, that's something I love, is when I see somebody with some cute nails and maybe have like a detailed shot where it's just like their eyebrow or maybe their nails. I love that. I feel like it's art. I mean, everything is art. Whatever you define as art in your world is art. But to me, when I see more detail in the picture, it just evokes more emotion with me individually. And like I said, if I know that that's something that happens for me, 9 times out of 10 is something that would happen for somebody else. I really hope that these like quick little editing tips can help you begin to create your own aesthetic. Like I said, if you choose to even have one from the get-go, you might not want one, and that's perfectly fine too. Like I said, there is no right or wrong answer to content creation at all. You just have to do whatever you feel is a vibe. And for me, again, being in the beauty and lifestyle space, I love creating aesthetic because that is something that I enjoy. I love like doing my pictures and videos and stuff like that, and then going back and looking at it and just seeing my art and seeing the story that I was trying to tell. So that's something that I appreciate within it. But again, everybody does not have to do aesthetic. Everybody doesn't like to do aesthetic. So it's all in your personal choice. But if you are somebody who's trying to just figure out your aesthetic and figure out, you know, how you want your content to look, I really hope that you found these tips helpful today so that you can begin to flourish as a content creator in your own rights and your own way. Okay, so drop in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys think of this video. Tell me if the tips were helpful for you. I really hope that they were. But that is all I have for you guys. I am going to hop out of here and get me something to eat because I'm starving and I ain't ate yet. But if you've been here before, then baby, you already know what's coming. But if not, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below, baby. And also make sure that you guys are hitting that notification bell as well so you can see when the videos are going up on my channel. I love y'all. Until next time, bye.